You want shirts? I got shirts.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central. And if this is your first time joining me, I do informational and educational Hero Wars videos, both for Facebook and mobile. And today's video is for both platforms, both Facebook and on mobile. And today's video is another team combo day. Last week we did a more arena PvP, player versus player centric team in Jet and Sebastian. This week, I want to talk a little bit about a campaign slash tower slash player versus environment team combo. So we're going to start with Phobos. And Phobos is an interesting hero. Aesthetically, he looks kind of like maybe like a mix of Edgar Allan Poe and one of his books, The Raven, quote The Raven Nevermore. I really like his illusionist skill a whole lot, but he's an interesting hero. He's got his own magic penetration. He has a slight heal. He's got a energy burn, which is kind of interesting. But the reason why I'm going to talk about Phobos today and the combo Faceless is the paralysis skill. And the paralysis skill states that this stuns a random enemy for 6.6 seconds and torments their body. The enemy can't attack or use skills during that time. So, two things about this skill is very important. Two things. First of all, it is a stun. Okay, so it stuns for 6.6 seconds, and stuns in this game means the defending hero or the defending monster or the defending boss can't do anything. They can't heal, they can't attack, they can't use any ultimate abilities. So very, very, very important stat is the stun skill. And I don't believe that there are any heroes in the game that has a stun skill that lasts longer than 6.6 seconds natively. There probably is. Maybe I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not the best person at this game. Who knows? But stuns for 6.6 seconds, and that's a long time. You can probably already guess where I'm going to go with this team, Phobos and Faceless. But before I get to that, the second real big reason why this skill is amazing is, read it again. Stuns a random enemy for 6.6 seconds, yada, 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 damage over time, yada, yada, yada. What is it missing that a lot of other area of effects, or I'm sorry, not area of effect, but debuff and sleep and blind effects, what is it missing? It's missing the level requirements. It's missing the level requirement. So if you take a look at his green ability, curses the nearest enemy, reducing their physical attack and dealing damage to them over 3 seconds, and the curse chance is lowered if the target level is above level 40. And the reason why it says above level 40 is because my skill here, Trembling Hands, is level 40 here. So if the enemy is level 41 or level 51 or level 100, then this would have a lesser chance to actually hit the enemy. The curse would actually have a lesser chance to hit the enemy. The paralysis skill, it is a guaranteed stun, a guaranteed 6.6 seconds that an enemy is taken out of the fight. Just think about that for a second. Really, really strong ability. Really strong ability. So in one of my previous videos, I mentioned keeping this guy leveled up, just kind of keeping him along. You don't need to invest any points in his glyphs or his artifacts, gift of the elements, none of the skins, unless you just really love this guy. And some people really love Phobos. So, if that's the case, go right ahead. But let's talk about the other half of this team. And that is the hero Faceless, one of my favorite heroes in the game, and his doppelganger ability. Now, the doppelganger ability, that's Faceless's ultimate ability, states that Faceless turns into the enemy or ally who last used the first skill, that is the ultimate skill, and uses that skill. Copied ability gains level 254. So don't worry about that copied ability part. So how does this work? You go into a fight, you use Phobos' ability, Phobos' paralysis gray ultimate, stun the enemy for 6.6 seconds, and then immediately, count off in your head 6 seconds, or 6.5 or whatever, and then before you use any other hero's ability, use the doppelganger ability, which would then stun the same or random other enemy again for another 6.6 seconds. Okay, so now you have effectively 13.2 seconds total that an enemy, be it one enemy or two separate enemies, are out of the fight. That's huge. That's amazing. So why else is this important? Let's kind of dig into this a little deeper. So first of all, Faceless you can get from the friendship vendor on Facebook and from the Highwayman vendor on mobile. So he's really easy to get. You can really easy get Faceless Soulstones, and the hero Phobos can be easily had from the campaign, right? So this is a very free-to-play, new player friendly game. I'm sorry, friendly team, Phobos and Faceless. Very strong together, very strong, very easy to get. So what's next? Well, the team is very effective in the tower. So let's say that you just got access to the tower, you're trying to work your way through it, you can't quite clear it because your team isn't strong enough, and you're trying to find a way to get through the tower, the easiest. Well, what you could do is you could start off every fight, you could game it a little bit so you can start off every fight with full energy, and then use Phobos's stun skill. Hopefully Phobos' stun skill lands on the most important attacking enemy. Maybe it's the Galahad, maybe it's the Ginger, maybe it's the Lars, the defending team on the tower. If it doesn't, just retreat and try the level again until you get it to land on the hero that you want to stun. And then once that 6.6 seconds is up, go ahead and use Faceless ability again to stun the same or another hero. Or just use Phobos and then Faceless one after the other immediately to stun two separate heroes for 6.6 seconds. Then the other three heroes on your team can go to work on their team, and two of the five heroes that are defending aren't doing any damage to your team. Thus, you can keep going in the tower. You can keep going farther in the tower each day until finally you can complete the tower. So that's one great use for this team combo. One great use, and probably one of the better uses. The other really, really strong use of this team, Faceless and Phobos, is in boss fights in the campaign. So let's talk about Chapter 8. Chapter 8 boss, the Furnace of Horror. That's the time where you fight the Archdemon. This is the point in the campaign that starts to trip up all players. Everyone's leveling along, having a great time, clearing content left and right, just having a real easy time playing through the campaign until they hit the Furnace of Horror, and that's when they run into a difficult boss for the first time. And a lot of people struggle to beat this boss, and they can't quite figure it out. Now, think back to that skill paralysis and how it doesn't care who it hits. It's a randomly hitting ability, but it doesn't matter on the level. It doesn't matter on skill. It will hit no matter what. Unless your hero is stunned or blinded or whatever, it will hit the opposing, a random enemy no matter what. Well, in boss fights, as you can see here, there is only one enemy. So random isn't that random. So you can effectively stun the Archdemon for, 6 seconds. And then guess what? Faceless right after stuns him for another 6.6 seconds. So you can stun the Archdemon or any boss in the game, the Kraken, or maybe you're having trouble with what's the three the Astrolid, the icicle bird in Nordland. Maybe you're having trouble with that one, the Escape from Winter boss, the Shavarak. Maybe you're having trouble with that. You can use this stun to effectively stop them from attacking you for 12 seconds. 13.2 seconds to be exact if you time it perfectly. So it's really effective, and that gives the rest of your team a lot of time to heal back up or to do damage to the boss. It's a great team for these kind of fights. So consider keeping Faceless and Phobos around. Consider summoning them, and don't invest a ton in them if they're not in your main team, but consider keeping them around for boss fights and for the tower until you're able to clear it. But on screen, real quick, I got last week's team combo video with Sebastian and Jet. So if you want to check that one out, that'd be great. And I also have shown up on the screen here last week's Team Fight Tuesday with Cleveland Barclay. Check that out. It's a pretty good video. But until next time, I love you all. Enjoy the video, and I will see you tomorrow.